Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. That according to Hebrews chapter 13, verse 8. But according to current events, the world is always changing. And few things are changing faster than artificial intelligence and the enormous data centers being built to power it. Now, some people argue that AI may actually be conscious already. But let's be clear, science has not established today's AI as conscious. In fact, a major scientific assessment recently concluded that current AI systems are not conscious, but it did acknowledge that the question deserves serious study, and it is being studied. But here's what is happening in the world of AI. America is racing to build thousands of data centers. The US already has roughly 4,000 data centers, with another 3,000 reportedly planned or under construction. And these facilities consume enormous amounts of electricity and water. And this is impacting communities and families all over the country. So here's my question. Why keep building massive new facilities on undeveloped land when America already has millions of square feet of existing commercial and industrial space? We've lost more than 1,200 shopping malls over the past 2 decades, and estimates put the number of existing malls at roughly the same, about 1,200, and that depends on how you define mall. But America's industrial real estate market has enormous amounts of existing space. In fact, developers are already proving that warehouses can become data centers. For example, Prologis and Skybox data centers converted an Illinois warehouse into a 32 megawatt data center. And former malls have also been converted in Indianapolis and Maryland. So why are we not doing far more of this? Why continue to tear up forests, farmland, and open spaces first? Is it about money? Why not prioritize abandoned malls, big box stores, warehouses, brownfields, and other already developed sites? And here's maybe an even crazier question. What about decommissioned offshore infrastructure? According to the U.S. Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, they have documented thousands of offshore oil and gas structures in the Gulf of Mexico, many of which have been or are in the process of being decommissioned. Could some existing offshore infrastructure eventually be engineered for energy intensive computing? I don't know. I'm not an engineer. Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe the economics don't work or the environmental impacts aren't worth it. But shouldn't we at least ask the question before bulldozing something we can never put back? Because there's something important to learn from Hebrews chapter 13, verse 8, even if you're an atheist or agnostic. Because it doesn't say the world never changes, it says Jesus never changes. And maybe that's precisely why we should be more thoughtful about the things we can preserve. Because technology can change, AI can change, and buildings can change. But once a beautiful piece of America's natural landscape is gone, it's gone. It's gone. I like data. Don't get me wrong, I use technology. I'm using it right now. And I believe innovation can do tremendous good. And it has. But progress shouldn't mean destroying everything that came before it. And I certainly don't need AI to tell me the difference between good and evil. The Bible already does that. And I can see it apart from spirituality because that's what my conscience is telling me. What does yours have to say? Let me know in the comments, but most importantly, let your elected officials know because the question isn't whether America should embrace the future. The real question is, what are we willing to destroy to get there? Dr. Hayes, it's Holy Sorta. Question everything, grow intentionally. Truth still rocks and light still leads. Sometimes faith ain't pretty, and sometimes neither is AI and the data centers that are threatening the natural beauty of America. Take care and be good.